Hey guys, this is Stel Yafty with Closeout. Today what you're going to learn is how to increase your pitch productivity, the ROP, the return on your pitch, and actually close more deals and make more sales by simply realizing what the number one reason is why people don't buy from you and why you're not getting their full attention. Before I go into that, I want to challenge myself a little bit with this video. I want to try and do something completely new and start a new tradition with those videos, and that's the 10-day challenge. In today's 10-day challenge, what I want to do for the next 10 videos that I'm going to record is challenge myself to be more quotable. And this was inspired by my good friend, a hustling superhero, Gary Vaynerchuk. You can actually watch a video of me interviewing Gary V about entrepreneurial sales and the hustle. I highly recommend it. And one cool thing that came out of that video is that a friend of mine and I were watching it and chatting about it. And at the end, he turns around, he looks at me and he says, you know what the most amazing thing about Gary V is? He's quotable as fuck. And I realized he's right. If you actually check out his stuff, the guy's quotable as fuck. He knows how to actually compress the essence of his ideas into simple, few word quotes, things that people can remember that are memorable and then can impact them in a more powerful way. And I want to raise my own communication game here. I've never thought about being more quotable, so let me take on this challenge. You guys can judge me in the comments and give me feedback. Let's see how this is going to go. All right, now let's get back to actually increasing the productivity of your pitch and actually having a high return on pitch and a more effectiveness and more impactfulness in the way that you communicate with people. Let me first start with a story. This is something that happens to me every single day, every single week, and I want to have you ask yourself if this is something you can identify with and that has happened in your life as well. Here's a scenario. I'm at home with my wife, I'm on my laptop, and I'm writing an email, right? And she turns around and she starts speaking to me. And because I'm so fully involved with the email, my brain stops at some point and goes, hey, your wife is talking to you, better look up, stop doing what you're doing and pay attention to your wife. And while that's happening, the moment I actually start receiving her message, the moment I actually start listening to her, I realize I've missed 2 or 3 or 4 sentences, and it's not quite clear and apparent to me what this is all about. So my brain is now busy trying to catch up with what's going on, what is she talking to me about, which makes it even harder for me to pay attention to what she's telling me right now. Eventually, I give up usually, and I have to go, wait. Can you do me a favor and repeat this, honey? What a waste, right? The whole problem was that she just assumed because I'm in the room and I'm physically there that she has my attention, which she didn't. So the first 2 sentences of her communication to me, she didn't have my attention. She didn't have my ear, so I couldn't hear her. So she had to repeat everything again. And this happens regularly, not just my wife and myself. I do this with other people, and I see this happening all over my life in all kinds of different situations. Another situation to share with you. Just yesterday, we did a sales training, a little coaching session between pros, and we did some role play, and a senior sales guy was actually pitching me. And while he was pitching me, he had my full attention, right? So I was going back and forth. I was role playing a potential prospect or a customer. And then eventually he said something that triggered off an association to another thought, and then another thought, and then another thought. And eventually I caught myself not paying attention anymore. And now I had to go back to giving him my attention. And now I was struggling to actually compute what was going on and understand where are we? What is he actually trying to pitch me? That was the moment where I realized, wow, this is a problem that happens every single day in all these different situations. The problem is we don't have people's full attention all the time. And you know what? It's even worse when you're not in person. It happens when you're in person, when you actually can look somebody in the eye sometimes. Have you ever seen when somebody gives you a blank stare? Their body's there, but their mind's somewhere completely different. That happens because our mind and our brain is not thinking linearly. We're going through association. So we're going from one topic to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's easy to trigger that off. You say one thing and it triggers off, 10 different ideas, and it puts the person's mind in a completely different place. And while you're talking, nobody's actually there to hear you, right? It's like the old saying, if a pitch falls in the forest and nobody's around, did it ever actually happen, right? So you need to make sure to understand that people don't pay attention, not just in person, even worse when you're on the phone with them, right? When they're actually in front of a screen connected to the web, looking at their email, their Twitter account, funny, cat pictures, whatever the hell they're doing. You can't just assume that people give you their full attention just because they're on the other side of the phone. The thing you can bank on is that people will wander off and not give you full attention, because it's fucking hard to give you 100% of attention for more than just 2 or 3 minutes, right? People will track off with other things, and you need to plan and account for that in the way that you pitch. So what do you need to do? You need to highlight the highlights. You need to mark what's memorable and important, and you need to make sure that you ask for attention. Highlight the highlights, mark the memorable, and ask for attention. See what I did there? All right, so now let's think about this. If you're in sales, especially if you're in technology sales and you're using all kinds of fancy software tools to sell more productively, you're totally knowledgeable to the idea that the top of your funnel is crucial to the end of your funnel and the results that you're actually able to drive. If you send emails, you know that open rates are almost the most important thing, because if nobody opens the email, it doesn't matter what it says. So people say, well, I send 100 emails, I get 30 opens. That means 30 people actually out of the 100 that you sent the email to even saw the email enough and paid enough attention to open it. So we track open rates with emails. With calls, when you do cold calls or sales calls in general, we track reach rates, right? What does it matter if you called somebody if all you got was their voicemail or their secretary or a dial tone? What matters is to actually connect with another human being and have a real reach so you can actually pitch. So with sales calls, we track reach rates, right? Doesn't matter that you made 100 calls. How many people did you actually reach, right? If you only reach 1 out of 100, you're not going to get very far in life. How about starting to track the attention rate that your pitch is getting? What about that idea? Why not track how much attention do I get when I actually pitch? Because if you track your attention rate and you improve your attention rate, your sales are going to go up. Your results are going to go up. Your closing rate is going to go up. And you know the beauty of this? You don't have to change anything about your pitch. The way you sell your product, the product stays the same. Your pitch and your sales tactics stay the same. All you do is you make sure to highlight the highlights, to mark what's memorable and important, and to ask for attention when it matters, so that the attention rate goes up at the right moments, and all of a sudden, you're going to start closing more deals. Right? All you have to do is you have to start tracking your attention rate, managing your attention rate, make sure that people pay attention when it pays, right? And when it's important. All right, so here's a lazy hack that I see around this all the time. If you're using the cutting edge technology in sales today, there's software that allows you to actually give people online demonstrations, online presentations. You can upload a PowerPoint, and you can go through that PowerPoint in real time with another person and actually track if that person pays attention or not. You know what's cool about that? Like, that can teach you when somebody's actually paying attention or not. That could be really valuable insight, and that can teach you to make a better presentation, be more succinct, etc., etc. I actually think that it's silly because it empowers people to be lazy about this. So I've seen 2 different scenarios. One is where people use that technology and then they look at when did people pay attention, and a lot of times they find out people paid attention at the beginning and they pay attention less and less and less over time. Now, what did that teach you? Almost nothing. The other thing that I see a lot of times with this is I saw one guy actually was really smart about this once. And actually told me, hey, Stella, I'm going to give you this presentation. I'm using this cool tool that actually tells me if you pay attention and how much attention you pay and if you click around on your browser or in different apps. So let's get right into it. And I thought, ooh, that guy's, sneaky. He now told me that he knows when I'm not paying attention. So you know what? All the time I was actually impulsively tempted to click on my email tab and check out my email while he's going through his presentation. And then I would go, oh shit, and go quickly back, right? And I did this a few times because I knew I was aware that he actually knows when I don't pay attention. And eventually, you know what I did? I picked up my phone and started reading my email there. Because, dude, if your presentation is not good, and if you don't highlight the highlights, if you don't tell me when you really need my attention, don't force me into it. I'll find a way around it. My mind will find a way around it. I guarantee it. So what should you do? Well, first, accept the reality. Embrace it. People cannot give you 100% attention, and that's fine. We've been even trained out of it even more with today's technology and connectivity and mobile and everything. We're always connected, always distracted, never paying full attention to anything. So why should they do that with you or change their lives with you? They won't. And you don't need their full attention. You don't need 100% attention. All you need is attention when it matters. Make sure that pay attention when it pays for your presentation, when it actually can have an impact. Make sure you highlight the highlights. You need to do one thing. And if you take only one thing away from this video, it's this. It's the most important thing I have to say. Before you go into a pitch, think about the top 2 or 3 things that you want to highlight. Think about what are the core 3 things they need to pay attention to in order to be able to be impacted by your pitch, in order to be able to make an educated decision if they want to buy what you have to offer and what you're selling. And then make sure that when you pitch, you highlight these moments. Let me show you how. Number 1, tell people that what you're about to say is going to be crucial. So you want to highlight, you are marking the memorable, you're marking the things that are important. You're saying things like, Stelly, what I'm going to say next is the most important part of my pitch. If you only take one thing away from my pitch, it's this. And then count 23, 22, 21, and now start talking. Use my name. This is one hack. Say Stelly. Usually that brings people back from wherever they are in their mind to you, Stelly. Then say and mark that this is going to be important. The next part is really crucial. Subtext being you need to pay attention. And then give it a second. Give it a second. Right? It might be that when you said Stelly, their subconscious picked it up, and then you said the next thing is really important. And by the time they actually look at you, they need another second to actually fully arrive. Their body might be here, but their mind is somewhere else. So give them a moment to fully arrive and be completely present for your pitch. And then say the important thing you have to say. Then say the thing that's going to impact them. Then give them that information that they really need to receive. Right? Say, hey, this is crucial. The next thing is going to be crucial. If there's only one thing I want you to take away from this presentation, it's this. Say things like, if you can only take one takeaway from our conversation today, it's this. Highlight the importance. Use their name, use a break, and then you know what? You don't have to scream for this. A lot of times, especially when you're in person, but also over the phone, if you actually quiet down all of a sudden and you say, Stelly, the next thing is going to be the most important thing I've said today. It's going to wake them up and it's going to make them lean in and increase their ears so they can capture your information better because all of a sudden volume has dropped, so attention needs to go up in order to still receive the message. That can be a lot more impactful and powerful and effective and productive than actually screaming, hey, I need your attention, I need your attention. Especially when you're a high energy guy like me and you're speaking out loud all the time, when you actually want to highlight something, you want to quiet down. Okay, so, and then, now I've highlighted the highlights. I've marked the memorable, I've asked for attention, I've made 2 or 3 things, the core takeaways that I want people to take away from my pitch. I've done all these things. How do I now know that people actually gave me attention? How do I track the attention rate of my pitch? Well, how about at the end asking people, hey, what were the highlights of this conversation for you? Hey, I'm wondering, what were the most interesting things that you've learned in this conversation? Hey, I want to ask you, in the pitch today, what was the most impactful to you? What were the things that you were taking away? If somebody asked you tomorrow to describe what we discussed today, how would you summarize our presentation or the conversation that we had today? And have them actually tell you what they've taken away. Have them actually bring up the things they found important. And based on that, you're closing the feedback loop for yourself to really understand if they got the takeaways that you felt were crucial for them to take, or if they missed something. And if they missed something, it's an opportunity for you to re-highlight, to say, you're absolutely right. The 2-3 things that you just said are incredibly important. One more thing that I want you to take away is this, right? And then bring it up again to their attention. Take that as an opportunity to increase your return on pitch and to make your pitch productivity a lot higher. So with that being said, let me ask you, what's the core idea you're taking away from this video? I want to ask you to subscribe to the channel. Somewhere down here is a little button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, the Closeout Hack and Hustle channel. We're going to be releasing a ton of videos, trying to do one a day, sharing hustling and hacking ideas, techniques, tactics, teach you about sales, about entrepreneurship, and hope to give you all the help you need to actually increase your game and close more deals, make more sales, and accomplish more of the things you want in life. This video is for people that are hustling hard. Take away everything you've learned from this video and now go and get them.